As we're approaching the end of late May, we've had a run of very warm and generous days, but the wind is picking up for this weekend and the rain is following very quickly on its heels. The animals are growing very quickly, but the rain that's come in means the weeds are going to grow even more quickly than the animals. So we've got things to get done this weekend, but with my rhubarb injury still holding me back, Stephen and Grace are taking over the reins outside to making sure that we still get everything done that we need to get done.
Well, welcome back to another video. It's Saturday the 24th of May and thankfully we don't have any big jobs on this weekend, so we're just going to take you around, give you a load of animal updates, vegetable updates, a few little bits to do here and there. First job of the day was to clear all the bottom of the electric fencing because Dexter's getting moved back in here today. Last week he escaped through the fence and got into the riverbank where there's loads of fresh grass. Well, this hasn't been grazed for a fortnight and the grass has shot up with a little bit of rain that we've had. So we're going to, luckily it's all cut because another machine's broke down, so we're going to get the battery, hook all the electric fence up, and then we're going to get him onto here on some nice fresh grass. That's the first job of the day.
It's a really windy day here on the Smallholding as well. It wasn't actually due to be windy until tomorrow, so hopefully it's not going to be too bad from a microphone point of view. Now, Dexter's just laid down in his favourite spot there at the moment, and Sonic is in with him. They have been doing absolutely perfect in the field together. They've been living together for a week now, I think, haven't they? The lambs have been out for a good week as well, but as Steve says, we're going to take you around and show you all the different animals, give you all the updates of what's happening right here on the Smallholding at the end of May. Now, the pony will be staying in that field there just because the grazing in the paddock that Steve's just trimmed with the now broken machine is just too lush for him basically, and he gets fat on fresh air, so he has to stay where he is, unfortunately. How are your plants doing, Stephen?
Looking good. Looking very pink.
Do you know what they are?
Suits me. It's just my colour.
Do you know what plants they are?
I haven't got a clue. No. There's a card in somewhere. Oh, there. I don't know.
I still don't know.
Pyrethrum. There you go.
And this is your new one. Quite the green fingers, aren't you, dear? Saturday passed in the blink of an eye. 1 minute weeding and the next minute the sun is setting.
Right, well, it's a very windy Sunday morning and most of yesterday we spent weeding paths and round veg areas and stuff like that. Today is much of a muchness, so first job we've got to do is get this disaster sorted out, this strawberry bed. The strawberries are starting to come through, so I need to get all these thistles and nettles out before we can net it to keep the birds off. So I'm going to get on with that first, and then the next job is to tackle this last bed here that we haven't touched yet. So this is the only bed in the whole plot that hasn't been renewed, and you can see by the sides there it's all fallen to bits. It all needs renewing. So we left it for a while because we were still eating the chard and the purple sprout and broccoli out of it. So now they're pretty much done with, so these are going to go to the pigs. The rest of it will just go into the compost and to the chickens. So once I finish the strawberry bed, I'll get on with this and then I'll renew it, because before long this will be ready for planting up. So while I'm getting on with that, Tracy's still a bit out of action, so she's going to be doing a few jobs in the house with the rhubarb and stuff. So these are my two jobs I need to be getting on with. So hopefully it won't take long and it'll be a transformation. Right, well, that's one job done. Got pretty much all the thistles out. The beady eye of a few years might spot a few that I couldn't get out, but I think I've got all the thistles. There's just a few nettles that I might have missed, but now I've got them all out. You can see how many strawberries are coming. I mean, already there's absolutely loads, so hopefully we'll have a bumper harvest this year. So that's that done. I've left a few in the paths around here. The birds can have them, but as long as they stay off these, we're happy with that. It's all right.
We can share.
Yeah. Get on to the next bed.
Well, as Stephen said, I am working in the kitchen today. I'm going to go and do some work in the outside kitchen as well. But I started in here because we brought a load of rhubarb from the garden, that dangerous rhubarb, where I did my back in from the garden into the kitchen. And then somebody else brought some more in for me after I cut it all and put it outside. So that's why it's half and half. But that works out really well because what I've got inside here, I have got filled up, bear with me, 3 of these huge bags of rhubarb, and they're going into the freezers. They're going to be for literally to dump out into a big pot and to create cordial or syrup from. I do it en masse each time, and I'm actually making one batch fresh now, and I've waited to show you because it honestly felt as though I would never get to the end of it. So this is the bowl that's going back on the compost, obviously just at the ends where I've chopped it off and the greenest parts. I keep the green, to be quite honest, they're fine in the cordial and most of the recipes that we use anyway. These are the last few stalks that I'm working with. This has been just sat in the kitchen, so in the warmth, for a good few days. Rhubarb keeps really well, especially if you keep it in a fridge, but to be quite honest with you, it has just been sat on our kitchen table waiting for me patiently whilst I just looked at it in an angry way because I hurt my back so much when I was picking it. But I'm literally filling up this pot here. I'm probably going to take it up to about the 6 litre mark, so this is a 12 litre pot. And then I'll put in maybe a pint for every pound when I work it out. Basically I'll do it by eye and then strain it after it's heated through for an hour or so, just on a really low heat, basically just trying to draw out the flavour from the rhubarb. And then I'll strain it and use the strained juice and sweeten it with sugar, and then that will become our cordial or our syrup. You can cook it down, make more of a syrup, and you can also water bath it if you want, but this will be getting used totally fresh. So that's what I'm doing at the moment, and it's taken me an absolute age. So there we go, that is full with the rhubarb and probably about halfway with the water. That will dissolve down or reduce down in no time. So I'm going to have a sit with my heat pack on my back, which is improving. Thank you for those of you that mentioned that. Really appreciate it. And then when this comes to a bit of a boil, I'm going to move it over onto this plate here, which is a simmering plate. And then I'll just leave it to cook for a little bit, and then I'll just leave it to cool off completely so the flavour gets into the water and creates a lovely juice. And then I'll add the sugar to the juice once I've strained it. So it is a bit of a long process, but it's quite hands off once you've got the rhubarb chopped. And if you want to do it in a food processor, it's a lot easier. I haven't got mine out yet, but I'm going to need it because we're getting into that time of the year. Well, it's taking no time at all. It's looking like it's really stewed down, so I'm going to take that off and just leave that cool now while I get on with some other things. Now, I needed to tell you guys, did you realise that Stephen actually tried out for James Bond at one point? He was too good for it, so he turned him down.
Right, that's all the electric fence set up. This time we're going to use the tester, not the fingers.
It's already gone.
And it's already working, so now we'll get the gate open and try and get Dexter in here.
I've actually got the feed for them, so they know they're about to get fed, so hopefully you'll just follow the bucket. This will probably be like the first bucket test, actually. Never thought of it like that, as in getting him to follow the bucket. It's very windy.
He's at the fence already, ready.
If you want to give me Sonics, then maybe...
Okay, Sonic over there.
Yeah, turning off the gate because this is proper sloppy. Thank you. Oh look, he's licking out yesterday, last tea time. Yeah, he will. Stay.
That's all we need.
I'll take Sonic away. Come on. Yeah, very pretty. Put you over here. I know. Why Anna just giving you your bloomin' breakfast? There we go. Pigs are squealing.
Yeah.
I'm saying the pigs are squealing, they want theirs.
Trying to inch him to the gate then.
Yeah, not quite following it yet. You'll make him jump. Come on, mister. The sass on the head. Good boy.
Good boy, there you go.
Maybe let him have a mouthful, do you think?
Good boy, look at your nose. Good lad.
He knows. Isn't it amazing how they can lick their own nostrils? Is there plenty in there? I only put a normal amount in, like, which is barely any, so.
Oh, you're going through them though, come on.
He wants Sonics. What he's actually been doing is taking the pony's feed off him, or trying to, obviously we don't let him. So he's looking at the pony, he doesn't want to go past because he's thinking, well, I want that as well. Typically he doesn't want what he's allowed. So I tend to stand in between them. At least when they're in the separate paddocks, we won't need to stand between them.
Noisy devils. Come on.
Do you think they're getting any bigger?
Yeah.
I see them every day and I'm not noticing a difference.
Well, unlike Dexter, these have no problem following a bucket, so hopefully when time comes they'll do anything for a bit of food. They're coming on great, they're still very friendly, aren't you? Yeah?
So we got these guys end of March.
End of March, so we've had them nearly 2 months, and they haven't half put on some size from the first day we got them. They fit in a little dog cage. They were like 2 little puppies, but now they're coming on leaps and bounds. They haven't done much to the churning up the ground with the so much of dry weather we've had, but a few days of rain will probably solve that problem. You can see over there it's all scorched and they've pulled all the bed out, so we've got to go and put all that back in, give them some new straw, and then when they do get on with this, I mean this area here that we've blocked off for them for the minute, it's just looking more and more lush every day. So once they've finished with this, they'll be chuffed to bits with getting in there.
Don't bite. Sorry. Might be a little bit too long for them, you know.
Oh.
I don't know, Stephen. I think sometimes the long grass is worse than. I'll have to do a bit of research. Any advice? Any advice?
When we put them in here, the weeds were up here like this.
Do you think? Is that just Tracy worrying too much again?
I'll go and push all that straw back in there.
So these guys will stay outside now. They did go in the barn initially when we first got them. All of our weaners always do, just to acclimatise, and we generally get them when the weather's colder. But we brought these outside when they were still small enough to be able to carry. I think you might have seen that video where Grace offered to carry them down this time, and did a grand job with Stephen. We've done it in previous years where they're bigger, but it's just much harder on the old back, etc., rather than trying to put them in a trailer, because we don't actually have a trailer here on the Smallholding. We are looking at getting one, but we've got access to one. Our friend just offers that we can use it whenever we want, so it just doesn't really make sense for us to purchase one, but something we have been talking about on and off, especially now we've got a truck that can pull one. Let's go and see what Stephen was saying. What do you say? Oh, they've been rooting. Well, we're due a few days of rain now, aren't we?
I would have expected them to do more damage than this in 2 months.
Yeah. See what the rain brings.
Not a bad thing, it'll last them longer.
These guys will stay with us till probably October time.
Yeah, maybe it's a bit longer because we got them a bit younger. So I did throw a load of that chard and the stuff out of that veg bed that I was on with yesterday. I did throw all that in and there's no sign of it at all, so they've obviously cleaned all that up.
Making a fibber out of you. They've left the stalks.
Oh yeah, and over there next to your left foot.
Where?
There near the fence.
Oh, yeah, I don't blame them, to be fair. That was woody as anything.
But good, you're looking good, aren't you? Looking good, aren't you, son? You're looking good. Oh, you are. You're looking good. Right, well, change of plan with leaving Dexter out. He's not showing any interest in coming over for this bucket, so we're going to swap the pony into that paddock over there, and then we're going to get Dexter and put him in this paddock over here where it's nice and lush grass. It's too lush for the pony, that's why he's not coming in here with him. But we're going to put Dexter in here, and then we're going to get this field poo picked and then leave it for another couple of weeks because we're due a bit of rain, and hopefully it'll grow some nice grass.
He's gonna peg it. water.
Right, so now we've got Sonic moved, the gate's open, there's his bucket, so hopefully if we leave him alone, next time we come down he'll be in here. Right, like I said earlier in the video, we haven't got any big jobs on this weekend, so we're just doing a few little jobs, getting stuff moving around and a bit tidied up and stuff, and one of them is these chickens. Now a few months ago, I don't know if you remember in one of our other videos, Grace took the hen and some eggs she was sat on and took her out of general population and put her in one of the stables. Well, she's hatched 3 and they were fine in the stable for maybe 3 or 4 weeks. But now they've got bigger, they're just getting over the stable now, so we need to put them back in with general population because they have had free reign of the barn and they're just trashing it. They're just crapping everywhere, they're scrapping up all the straw and the hay and they're just making it a mess. So we're going to get them out of there today and put them in with the rest of these, which are in this one, which will get a good tidy out today. And they'll all go back, and they're big enough now to go in there, but they're still small enough to get through here. So I'm just going to put a couple of layers of mesh on the bottom of there so they can't get out, and that will contain them hopefully for the foreseeable. And then the next job we need to get on, speaking of Grace, hatching pheasants. We have 6 pheasant chicks in the garage, which every time I go in and change the water, now they're still tiny, but they're starting to fly. And they're just jumping out. I had to run around yesterday for half an hour trying to catch one and put it back in. So what I think we're going to try and do with them is over here, which I'll show you.
I think they're laughing at you.
So the idea for the pheasants, we're going to move them over into this and repurpose this. We got this greenhouse years ago and then we just meshed it because of, I think it was the first lockdown we had to put hens in it, and then we've had lambs in it and we've had ducks in it, we've had quail in it, we've had everything in it, and it hasn't been used now for over a year or so. So we're going to get it all cleaned up, clean it out, put some perches in, sort the door out, and then shift the pheasants out the garage and into here, so they've got a bigger space to grow and they can't escape. And then once they're a bit bigger and a bit more, what's the word I'm looking for?
Robust.
And a bit more robust, then we'll just set them free.
You know fine well they're going to come back. We've literally just shown you that last clip and come outside and Dexter's already moved, so it's only been, what, 10 minutes?
Yeah,
He's already happily enjoying the longer grass in this field. We are due, as I say, a lot of rain, so this is going to lush up even more, and we don't want it to get too long, so that's obviously problematic in itself. At least I think it is.
Right, another job done. You'll be happy in there for a fortnight, give that a rest, get it cleaned up.
Well, somebody else will be happy in there too.
You're not going in, you're fat enough. Right, so I'll just give you a quick update on Dexter while I'm filling his water up. I don't know if you can see him in the background there because of that long grass that he's in. He's there. So we've had him for about 5 weeks now and he's doing absolutely fantastic. He's only escaped once. He's not following the bucket really, so we'll have to try and get something else that he likes a bit better to entice him. But like I say, we've only had him 5 weeks and we are planning on having him for 14, 15 months. So still plenty of time to work on that, but for the 5 weeks we've had him, he's been absolutely fantastic, no problem, and we're loving having him really.
When we say escaped, he escaped from one of our fields onto the riverbank.
He didn't really. We got him back easy.
It wasn't an escape, it was a cheeky little manoeuvre.
But he's behind my fences now, so no chances of that. Let's hope he doesn't make a liar out of me.
You just jinxed yourself.
Does he need what? Does he need what?
No, it's got enough in.
Right, so we've had an update on the pigs, on Dexter, the pony. So now we do the lambs. This one's Angus, this is our biggest lamb that we've got, and they're also doing fantastic. Hope nothing comes along jinxes because everything seems to be doing well here on the Smallholding at the minute. We'll get to the pheasants, but these are, they're using the feeder that I made last week. They've been using that fine, and yeah, love living off the grass, loving the creep feeder, loving the milk, and loving life. So let's hope they're happy like that for the rest of the days here. What do you think, Angus? Huh? He's a kiss. Good lad. Go on then.
time to worm the lambs and our 2 pet sheep as well. Grace is going to do it. We asked the vet when they came to do the coxine medication for them. They said leave it 10 days to 14 days to worm them. So it's 14 days now. Or actually it's just a bit longer than 14 days, isn't it? But Grace has worked out all the doses because it's different doses. They want the bottles that are empty. It's different doses per weight, so she's been and worked it all out, and then we'll fluke them again later in the autumn.
Good girl. Follow. Good girl. One down.
Angus, get down.
Good boy, Angus.
Don't let her get that on your face. I don't think you realised it was her, sorry.
It's alright. I'll just get a wash. Put these on before they eat them. Right. Angus! At the top. Good boy. He's so strong.
He is under there, honest. He's the biggest of them all, isn't he? Strongest.
Good boy.
Oh, you just spit a little bit out then, a little monster.
It's alright. They've got a higher studs anyway. And Rebel.
So what did you do? Syringe it from the main bottle?
Just from the worming bottle, yeah, and then into doses. Ow.
We're going to just make sure that they get the right amount.
Yeah. Angus gets more because he's humongous. Right, now the fun part. That's all the
Do you think you're going to be able to do it on your own?
I'll probably do Carol. Look at Carol's.
So we've estimated Carol's weight at what?
35.
35 kilos. Nettle's obviously a larger lady.
60 kilos.
Hello, Miss Carol.
Hold that. Oh, you hold that. Carol.
She's not daft, is she? Been there and done it too many times. What? What's she doing to you?
Yeah, love.
Should I get a bucket?
Yeah. This is going to go well. Right, so, orders of reinforcements. Can you get Carol, please? She's there. Watch out, Angus.
Just like a big hug.
Open. Done. Swallow it.
I'm
didn't even get to see
it's
it.
not done.
Hang on, here, Carol.
Nettles is a big dose.
Carol!
Carol.
I was just going to do what I did there.
I know, I need to grab it.
Go. She's like, I hate you.
Right, hang on. Come here, you big loon. There you go.
You got it.
It's okay, Annie. Annie's asking if you need help.
Maybe I'll swallow it. That was a nut. Here you go.
That's all the fuss about.
Probably
Spat a bit out.
take those off him.
Excuse me.
It's not cow food.
I was like,
Is that what you're thinking? No, it's not.
Dad, have you got the wrong one?
No, it's not
Well
Dexter's.
done.
We have no idea why there's the fat.
You live up here. Excuse me. He's getting big. Aren't you?
How heavy do you reckon he is?
15. I did the dose 11 to 20, so you got a little bit because you're tiny. Aren't you? You're just not growing.
Yeah.
Josh, you're
Well, they were one of 4, that one, and
nibbles behind. He's got,
the furthest
he's
away
grown
was
a
one
bit
of
better,
4.
though.
Were these two? Were these twins or
They
triplets?
said twins. And the mum rejected them. She didn't offer. She just said, no, I don't want kids here. That was savage.
Right.
Right, well, it's had a good clean out. Put some fresh bedding down. I was going to fill it with straw, but I think it's a bit too small to walk around in the straw. So put these shavings down. hopefully it'll be rat proof. They've got enough water and enough food so that I can actually close this door. And I'm going to have to tie wrap it at the bottom and tie wrap it at the top to keep the rats out, because it is meshed on the bottom, it's meshed all the way around, meshed all the way over, and it's meshed and screwed against the back wall, so it's as rat proof as it's going to be. So we'll just get the pheasants, put them in and hope for the best. Give them a little play area for them if they climb or fly. And well, I know the first test is to go get them out of there without them flying away. So we'll go and get them now and get them in. By the way, probably when you see them in there, you'll think that's overkill because they're literally like this big, but we'll see how it goes.
That's all we've got.
Right, so this is where they currently are with the ducklings. You see the ducklings through there, they're about a week old now and getting absolutely massive. So we're going to try and get this top off and get them in this tall box here. We've shut the garage door, got the catching net, so let's just see how it goes. Yeah, it'll be alright.
Right, I'm not... Down.
Shut this box.
Right, where is it?
Come on. We're just going to go back and forward here around. No, don't drop behind me. Oh. Right, good job. Right, so these are our 3 Aylesbury Cross Peking ducklings. Now we've got the quail out of there, we'll give it a clean out. Pheasant, keep saying quail. Now we've got the pheasant out of there, we'll give it a good clean out and leave these in for another week. And we'll have to figure out somewhere for these to go. Won't we?
We're going to go swim in the sink.
No, they're not swimming in the sink. There's one out, you can't really see because of the...
How small it is.
Yeah, the mesh is getting in the way. The rest is
smaller than I thought. They might get out of the mesh. Right, we've got all the door tie wrapped up. Checked it for any gaps. I think we're safe and secure. We'll leave them for an hour, let them get used to it. Come out and explore the surroundings. And now they're in there and safe. Oh, there it is. Look, it's up there. Look at that.
Bloody hell.
Are you sure the top's sticky?
Did you think about the roof?
Yeah, it's all alright. Give it a quick check. Right now the barn's being swept. Time for the next job to get these where they're supposed to be. We've got... While she's catching them, we've remeshed the bottom of this so that they can't get out. And I've just got a couple of boards there so that they can't get out. So they'll have to go in, get the pecking order, and then fend for themselves.
So you've called in your reinforcements now, Stephen? Huh?
She's not getting out either. Leave her in there.
You're her reinforcements for the sheep and you're his reinforcements for these.
Do you want the net?
Stop! Come on!
The other one will... It's alright, Jack.
How pretty is that?
Bless you, Stephen. Bless you.
Bless you, Dad.
Where's that one gone there?
It'll come down, it'll hear the man.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was there.
Oh, no. Just like that. Slight problem. Well, it might not be a problem yet, but Jack's just pointed out in his wisdom that we have meshed that there so the chicks can't get out. These are the perches here and they've got a platform in there so they can actually still get out there. But I've got actually no mesh left, so we might have to nip out. We need some compost anyway, so we'll nip out and I'll see if we've got any mesh while we're down there.
Not just
pointing out these problems.
Not just a pretty face, eh, Jack?
Right, let's hit the road.
Oh, what's that?
Fine.
So this is pecking order.
Yeah, I think so.
So there were still things that needed to be done in the garden that I couldn't quite manage due to my back still giving me jips. So Stephen very kindly turned his attention to those, for which I'm super grateful. And then the winds came and the weather shifted and the rains started, although it actually wasn't as bad as we expected, but we had plenty to be getting on with inside the farmhouse. There were hearty meals to be made, decorating to be done, and a little bit of rest in between. So thank you guys for sticking with us for this video, and we will see you very soon on next week's small holding vlog, if not sooner, with some gardening updates.